Final update. He wrapped his arms around me and saved my life in front of everyone. I reported him 2 days later. Now, he won't speak to me, and the whole office acts like I'm the villain. But what if I told you being saved was the moment I stopped feeling safe? The few times I tried to say something normal like, "Good morning," or, "How's your day going?" he'd give me this blank, cold stare and either not respond at all or just nod slightly before walking away as fast as possible. It was honestly more uncomfortable and hurtful than when I thought he was being too friendly with me. Because at least then, he was treating me like a human being who deserved basic respect. Now, I felt like a ghost wandering around the office that nobody could see or hear. What made the whole situation even worse was that everyone else started following his lead in how they treated me. Since Donovan was so well liked by everyone and they all thought I'd wronged him somehow by reporting him, they started treating me with the same coldness he was. People who used to include me in lunch plans and after work happy hours stopped inviting me to anything. Conversations would literally stop when I walked up to a group of coworkers who were talking and laughing together. I'd overhear people making plans for weekend activities or birthday parties, but nobody ever asked if I wanted to join anymore. Even people I thought were my friends. It was like I'd been completely blacklisted from the entire social circle at work just because I stood up for myself and reported something that made me uncomfortable. The isolation was starting to really get to me mentally, and I began to wonder if maybe I'd overreacted to the whole choking situation and blown everything out of proportion. I found myself analyzing everything that happened over and over again, questioning whether I'd misinterpreted Donovan's actions or turned something innocent into something sinister in my head. Maybe he really was just trying to save my life in the most effective way he knew how, and I turned it into something sexual when it wasn't meant to be that way at all. Maybe all those other times when I felt uncomfortable with his behavior were just in my head and he was genuinely being friendly without any ulterior motives or inappropriate intentions. The doubt was eating away at me every single day, especially when I had to sit alone at lunch watching him laugh and joke with everyone else like nothing had ever happened between us. I tried talking to Jessica one day to see if maybe she could help bridge the gap between me and everyone else or at least explain to people that I wasn't trying to be malicious. But she just shrugged and said that maybe I should have thought about the consequences before I threw Donovan under the bus for no good reason. She said, everyone thought it was pretty messed up that you try to ruin a good guy's reputation over something so innocent and heroic, and that if you wanted things to go back to normal, you should probably apologize to him publicly and admit you were wrong. But the thing is, even though I was starting to have serious doubts about my decision, I still remembered how uncomfortable and violated I felt in that moment when it happened, and I didn't think I should have to apologize for having feelings about something that happened to my own body. After weeks of this cold treatment and social isolation, I finally decided I couldn't take the hostile work environment anymore. I needed to have a direct conversation with Donovan to try to clear the air between us, even if it meant admitting that maybe I'd handled the whole situation wrong from the beginning. I waited until most people had left for the day and approached him while he was packing up his desk to go home. I started by saying I wanted to talk about what happened and maybe find a way to move forward professionally. But he just looked at me with this expression that was completely different from any way he'd ever looked at me before in all the time we'd worked together. It wasn't angry exactly, but it was cold, distant, and final in a way that made me realize he wasn't the same person I thought I knew before all this happened. He told me